Hello, I'm Colin Green, and you are listening to Spikepit. Well, folks, yes, I'm still around. Some days it doesn't feel like it. I feel I've been assimilated by the Borg, and the lights are on, but no one's home. It's work. You get up, go to work. Come home, fall asleep, get up, go to work. But to call it work, maybe a little bit of a stretch. Work by name, is it really work by nature? I guess it is, but working with the kids is so rewarding. I feel, although financially I'm not super rewarded, emotionally and my well-being, I am more than compensated. It's difficult to explain if it's not something you've really been involved in, and it's quite cliched. I know teachers talk about it being the best job in the world, and they do grumble about it at times as well. However, that's not what I'm here for. Role-playing games, that's the topic. And I continue to fit in a weekly game, face-to-face, and RPG of late. What am I on about? I see RPG of late has been my poison. I've been running basic fantasy RPG Monkey Isle. It's put out by various people who are involved with the creation of it, overseeing all this, and it's the grand master of it all is Chris Goneman. He's kind of steering the ship, but there's quite a team to it. It's a kind of, I don't know, would you say almost a community project? I don't quite know the ins and outs of it, but it's I find it's a sort of a humble product, all the basic fantasy RPG stuff, and quite impressive in a humble kind of way. Hard to explain. There's just something about it that I quite like. It doesn't wow you with its appearance. It doesn't really wow you with its content. I guess it's what Jason Hobbs talks about, this good vanilla. It fits in quite nicely in all sorts of fantasy settings, and I don't know, I just find it kind of gives me these warm and fuzzy feelings, and I really struggle to explain why. I guess it's a personal thing, and I'm running it with ICRPG, as I was trying to say, using the Master Edition, which apparently was quite difficult to get hold of in the Modiphius edition, but seemingly that's all back in stock now. If you listen to Hank and follow him on YouTube, he's been talking about how the supplies have come through again, but it is likely to go out of stock again soon. And if that's the case, you can always pick up the paperback copies available through I'm think I'm right in saying directly from Hank nowadays, and still through drive-through. And I rather like the cheap copies. There's something quite satisfying about having something that you don't have to be too precious about. I think it's me. I get this. I've talked about it before. Similar to basic fantasy RPG, I don't have to worry about being too precious about the books. When I get a nice hardback, I get really obsessed about looking after it, and it's some kind of precious artifact. And sometimes these cheaper books, a bit like paperbacks and things like that, free me up to be a little bit less pernickety about it all. And I find that quite a relief. But how's it going, you say? Well, the other thing I've I've been doing is I've been, because of the nature of the copyright and everything with Chris Goneman's stuff, for personal use, he's made plain text files available. So it's really easy to kind of cut and paste stuff into Google Slides, and I've been running my games, like I say, face to face, but using a laptop instead of my usual journal kind of idea. I started off with a journal, and then I thought, you know what, I'd like to get a little bit quicker with my computer and my IT skills. I really need to brush up on that for my work. And over the last couple of years, I've been getting better, but it was a really long gap, tens of years, where I didn't really need to bother too much with computers and technology. And now that has totally flipped. So I'm trying to embrace that, and by crossing it over into my hobbies, that's just given me another chance to kind of like raise my game. Google and the kind of the Google type apps are the family of apps that I use day to day, and Google Slides is one that we use to teach, and the more familiar with all the ins and outs of that I am, the better it is for myself and my students. So I've just brought it into the gaming, and I find it awesome. I set up a map, make kind of links within the map, and then a slideshow, a set of slides, much like big index cards, all hyperlinked back to the map. So you pick a location, say on Monkey Island, you go to this temple, you click on the temple on the map, it takes you to the location in the slides, and then you've got a link back on the slides to the map when you're done. So you've got like a forwards and a backwards link, plus you can drop links to any other sort of supporting documentation, so like hyperlink to your monsters, and you just put all your information like index cards into this slide deck. And I've just been really enjoying that. It's a little bit lengthy to get it all together, but I found out a good while ago I actually quite like preparing slides and working to put slide decks together. It's almost therapeutic for me. I feel like I've said this before, but just lately I've been thinking about recording episodes and having ideas, and now I don't know whether that was just something I thought about or something I actually did talk about. So there's that. The other news is we are back to playing D&D again. This time I'm not running. Well, no, I wasn't running last time. It's DM Ricky back in the chair. We're back in Ravenloft, and it's like a pair of well-worn shoes or comfy slippers. You know, we've dropped straight back into that game, and I do love that setting. The atmosphere, it just is really quite engaging, and it's not just me. I feel like the whole group enjoys it, and it is helped out in no small part by the fact we've got that whole big old I think deluxe or whatever they call it, Beadles and Grimm box set with the adventure and all the maps and all the doohickeys. So yeah, awesome stuff. And I gotta say, I haven't really done any online gaming. I played one session with the Dungeon Muser, Kev, on the Dungeon Musings channel. I believe he put it up there, and we were playing for the first time. I finally got to play Savage Worlds, and it was what do they call it? Rippers? Is it Rippers? Not too sure. It's kind of that Jack the Ripper vibe, the kind of Victorian times, and yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. I always do. Played played with the usual suspects, buddies of that you will all be familiar with, no doubt. Just a great fun game, a one and done, one shot. Kev is the master of these things. I don't know how he does it. He puts a lot of time into preparing it, and then he just pulls it off on the day. He sorts you all out with interesting pre-gens. He's always got you covered for the rules where you're not sure, and you just turn up and play. You raise some money for charity. I believe my brother sorted that out with Kev, and I was invited as like a guest to play. So big thanks to everybody involved there, and I will have to make some time to do a bit more of that. Unfortunately, I'd love to play. There's a bunch of guys I miss gaming with, but it is a time-consuming hobby. Chunks are 3 or 4 hour chunks sitting playing make-believe. For me, I'm still trying to study, figure out this engineering and learn my AutoCAD and computer-aided design. And the latest thing now is I've got to get into this robotics, because we need to get a robotics team together to enter into a competition. So there's never a shortage of things to do. The days pass by super fast. However, I might be able to shoe in a bit more RPGs. There are developments in terms of a school club. The school librarian recently, I've been getting over a bit of a some kind of virus or something, and it's affected my voice and my throat, and I came back to the new term not feeling great, ended up taking a couple of days off sick. But on one of the days where I dragged myself in, I ran into the school librarian came looking for me, and it was only a matter of time before word got out that I played a bit of D&D and I knew about role-playing games, and I wasn't keeping it a secret, but I wasn't exactly shouting about it. But clearly one of the students had mentioned it, and she came asking questions. Apparently, up in the north of the UK, there's one of her fellow librarian colleagues is promoting the hobby as a way of improving literacy, getting kids interested in reading. And anybody who plays RPGs and has grown up with RPGs knows the truth of this, how they can get kids who are reluctant readers or not very academic, how they can get drawn into this whole world, and they can really bring on their skills, widen their vocabulary, improve their reading, all this stuff, even to a certain extent maybe their handwriting, presentation, visual communication, the whole turn taking and all the stuff that comes along with gaming and socialising with people as well. So there's a massive value to it. So it is nice to be approached by somebody like the librarian who is already almost a convert to the idea and is quite used to setting things up in the library. And it might just be a matter of me explaining how things work, and I might be able to leave it to them and then just drop in. So I haven't got to be too hands-on. I can almost be there in an advisory role and let the kids get involved and let them discover in a way that a lot of us did for ourselves quite naturally. I've dropped in a D&D starter set that Arf had picked up in a used bookshop or a charity shop, something like that. He donated that. I've given that to the librarian for her to have a look through, make sure she's happy with the content and everything else. But it's mint condition. It's like as new. So she was happy about that. I've got a couple of buddies I've been talking to that have offered assistance in terms of some funds or some RPG kind of related materials, stuff like that. So that's encouraging. But I've held off with the offers of assistance currently because I want to make sure that we've got some momentum and I'm not wasting anybody's time. So that's encouraging. Watch this space. I hope everybody's well. I know it's been a while. I don't want to make excuses. I don't like making excuses, and I don't like moaning about how busy I am and everything else, because I'm happy to do it. If I wasn't, then I wouldn't. And yeah, you don't always have bags to say. I hope 2023 is treating everybody well. Thanks especially to my patrons over on Spikepit, my Patreon over there, the pit crew, as I fondly call them. Numbers have dwindled, as you might expect, but the old guard has hung on. They bearing with me, being patient, hoping for some more content, I guess, or maybe just generous folks realise it is not always super easy raising 3 kids in the present circumstances. I really do appreciate the support. I've tried to stay in touch as best I can, and I just want to say big thanks to you guys. You know who you are, and yeah, thanks guys, it's much appreciated. Everybody else, as per usual, thanks for taking a little bit of time out of your day to listen to old Spikepit. Take care, and I'll catch you later.